it's Sam. So today I am going to be doing a first impressions and demo of the new MAC concealer that they just came out with. This is called the MAC 24-Hour Studio Fix. It's the 24-hour smooth wear concealer. It comes like this in a little tube. It has a wand, like a doe foot wand applicator. Altogether there are 30 shades, so there is a really great shade range. I am in the color NW20, which has more of a kind of like pinky peachy undertone. The NC20 is a lot more yellow, if you guys can see right there. So that's the NW, that's the NC. So one is much more pinky peach, one is way more yellow. So that's the difference between the two. The NW20 for me was perfect. So today we're just gonna be going ahead and putting that concealer to the test. I'm gonna apply it to my face, and I'm also gonna come back throughout the day and just let you guys know how it is wearing. If you are new to my channel, I have really oily textured skin. So I have a lot of like big pores around my nose. I do have some fine lines and wrinkles underneath my eyes from when I smile, and I'm usually really oily. My very under eye doesn't get oily. God, that would suck. But right kind of like here and of course on the sides of my nose, that's usually where I tend to get oily as well as my chin and, well, technically my whole face other than like right here, because my cheeks will even get oily. So I am really oily. And then of course I have little fine lines and textures. So it's a good test to see if you are someone who has skin like me. We're also going to be testing out these new palettes. These are the Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette. There is one that is light medium, and there's also one that's medium dark and dark. So the concealer is $22. It says it's a lightweight fluid concealer that provides seamless coverage, blurs imperfections, and offers all-day comfortable wear. It's for all skin types. It says it's a medium to full buildable coverage. Skin looks smoother, even and selfie ready. Its small sponge tip applicator makes it easy to zero in on any area, making it your must-have magic wand. Skin looks fresh and perfected with a natural matte finish that's never dry or cakey. It is oil free. So that's what the concealer says. Okay, starting here we have NW10, NW15, NW20, which is my shade, NW22, NW24, NW25, NW28, NW30, NW32, NW34, NW35, NW40, NW42, NW45, NW50, and NW51. And then that's where my elbow creased and made a little mark over here. So those are all of the NWs. Personally, I think they have a good, like these two right here, those are pretty light, because I am this color right here, and so I feel like, and I'm not that tan at the moment, so I feel like if you are fair, I feel like the 10 would definitely be pretty good. So I feel like these two are definitely quite a bit lighter, and then even NW22 is slightly lighter than the 20. You can see it kind of jumps down a little bit and then goes back up. And then you've got a good shade of medium ones, or sorry, a good range of medium ones. And then you have, I would say like maybe 3 or 4 darker ones right here, but then we still have the NC range to swatch as well. So those are all of the NWs. Okay, don't mind this mess over here. I creased my elbow again, what an idiot. Okay, so these are all of the NC shades. So starting from here, we have NC10, NC15, NC20, NC25, NC30, NC35, NC38, NC40, NC42, NC43, NC44, NC45, NC48, NC50, NC55. Oh, I'm sorry, we have NW over here, NW53, and then NW55. So I'm sorry, those ones are NW, they were placed in the other thing. So it's interesting to me that these two dark ones are also NW. So there are no NC, like that's the darkest in the NC. They don't go up any darker than this because this is NC55, which are not that dark, but there are a lot more dark shades in the NW range. So that's interesting. But there you go. So just pretend those ones are not on here. Those are actually supposed to be part of the NW. All of these ones are NC. So the NC range isn't quite as good as the NW because the NC only really has one dark, but that's really not that dark. And then the rest are all kind of medium, and then they only have like one or two light. So I feel like the NW range is slightly better than the NC. Now let's look up the palette. The palette is $39.50. There are 2 shades altogether of these, which is what I just showed you guys. It says it's an expertly edited palette that contains 3 matte contouring powders and 3 subtly shimmering highlighting powders to sculpt, shape, and enhance. Oh, I didn't realize that those were slightly shimmery. I'll have to have a look up close. It's for all skin types. It says each highlighting shade contains soft focus technology to softly reflect light, while the contouring colors provide sheer coverage to create natural looking shades. The effect is maximum impact with minimal texture. These shades even help soothe and condition skin and provide smooth, even silky application. They are also dermatologist tested and non-acnogenic, which is good because I have had problems in the past with MAC blushes and contour shades breaking me out. It's weird. Some of them do, some of them don't. I don't know what it is in the formula that does or doesn't, but it really depends on the specific product. Basically, these are $39.50. The light medium is obviously my color for contour, and the highlighting shades, you do get a big mirror, and then you get these 6 shades. So you get the 3 ones on the top that they said they had that soft kind of focusy shimmer, and then you have these 3 matte ones. So when you look up close, I still don't see any shimmer. I still don't see shimmer when you apply them to your hand. So it must just be so subtle that it's like, because you don't want a highlighter shimmer underneath your eye. So it must just be like a really soft, kind of like very, very gentle one. It just reflects the light so that you look really bright and illuminated. Now, I did not try any of these underneath my eye. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to test out the concealer with the regular powders that I usually use for my under eye, because I wanted to give it a true test, because sometimes powders can act differently if you have oily skin, and they can end up being a lot heavier and make you a little bit oilier. So I wanted to try out the concealer without these on my under eye, just so that I know that with powders that I would normally use it with, I know it's gonna work. When you try so many new things, it's like, whoa, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's giving me the bad result, what's giving me the good result. And then you do have 3 powders here on the bottom. These are the contour shades, so that's them. They're very subtle. Like the light medium palette is really, really subtle. They're pretty light. So if you are someone who is quite fair, this is definitely gonna be a palette for you. I used that color right there, and that worked great for me to just give me a really subtle, tiny little bit of kind of contour and color. But I am on the kind of like lighter side of my self-tan right now. Actually, I pretty much just don't have much at all. So that worked really well. Okay, and then we have the medium dark palette. Same price. This is, again, got that same big mirror. And then you have 3 highlight shades right there, and then you have 3 deeper contour shades at the bottom. So I actually used this peachy one, you'll see in the video. I used it as a blush, and I also used the other shadows as my eyeshadow, because I wanted to see what I could do with this darker palette to let you guys know that like that peachy color, which is technically for correcting for if you have deeper skin tone, on my color skin tone or lighter is like the most beautiful peachy blush. It warms up the face so well. Like that's all I have on as far as like a blush today, and I love the way it looks on my skin. If you do get that because you simply just want that peach color, you can also use the deeper contour shades if they are too dark for you as your face contour. You can use them as eyeshadows, and I created this really pretty like milky chocolate, like brown smoky eye. It's like really natural but still a little bit chocolatey and a little bit smoky, and it was all from this one palette. So there are different ways to get around things. If you do want one specific color, you can always use them as eyeshadows. I had no problem. They didn't bother my eye or anything. They blended out really nicely. I have to be honest, they don't swatch the greatest on the hand. They're much better once you apply them on, for some reason. And they are like, my palette was definitely subtle. It was not like a super intense like, whoa, that's pigmented, you get a ton of product. Like, it's more of just a really like very subtle, very natural kind of blend. You do have to work up the product and kind of build it up. it is definitely buildable, but you're not going to get like super intense pigment right off the bat. So there's the shades for the deeper palette. That banana or like the yellowish color is definitely like a true kind of yellow. Then you have more of a pinky kind of beige, the peach, and then the 3 contour shades. So this one's more milky, that one's a little bit more kind of red, and then that one's like definitely a cooler kind of darker chocolate. But you can see they don't swatch great, and that's me like really working it. They're a little patchy when they swatch, especially those 2 shades, but I feel like when I put them on my eyes, they came out really nice. So they weren't like overly intensely pigmented, but they definitely gave me what I wanted, and they blended out really nicely. I am seeing a bit of a glow with these darker shades actually, because you know how they said they have that kind of like soft kind of light reflecting glow? They definitely do in these. I think maybe the other ones are just too pale to tell, but I can definitely see a bit of a kind of, it's not shimmery, it doesn't look like a highlight, but there's definitely some kind of like light reflecting glow there to just kind of like blur anything underneath. Now that we know all the details that we need to know about these products, I'm basically just going to go into the demo now. We're going to apply these. You're going to see me putting these on my face and kind of just giving you my first thoughts and impressions as I'm using them. And then I'm going to go ahead and check in throughout the day and let you guys know how everything is wearing. So I'm mainly focusing on the concealer because I just want to see how it works on my oily skin. Okay, so I put my base on. I think I'm going to be color NW20. That looks the closest to light in Shape Tape. You can see NC, you can see is really yellow compared to my normal color, so I definitely think that I would be NW for sure. Now this is definitely the color that I typically go for. Seems to be what I like. Like if you like a really nice bright under eye, then I think NW20, if you're like around my shade, should work for you. I will say the wand is a bit smaller than like the Shape Tape. Like it's a small concealer. It's not super plush or super big or super fat, but it does still put down a good amount of product. So I don't think that there's any problem as far as like it feeling like it's not putting enough down. It's just I feel like it takes a little bit more time than if you were to use Shape Tape, because Shape Tape's wand is so big that you can just get a bigger surface area in a quicker time. Okay, so that blended out beautifully. It seems to have covered everything I need to cover, but then done a great job of like brightening and highlighting underneath my eye. And then whatever's left, I'm just gonna kind of bring over on the forehead and then just kind of blend around my mouth a little bit. It looks really natural under there actually. It doesn't look cakey or too heavy at all. I'm just going to go ahead and put some of my normal powder on. It's the Lancome Long Time No Shine. This is in the color Translucent. It's supposed to be a loose setting and mattifying powder. Oh god, the coverage of it, it's just so fabulous. But for some reason around my chin and like nose area, it was so oily. Do you just see how amazing this powder is? Like the instant brightening effect and the smoothing effect of it is quite spectacular. Like honestly, it is the most beautiful powder when you first apply it. I am just sticking to my under eyes with this, and that's the only place I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off my brush really, really good so that there's no extra powder on there. And then I'm just going to go in with my NARS for the rest of my face. But let's just have a look at the face now that I put the powder on. It looks good. Everything looks really smooth. I would say the concealer is doing absolutely fine and dandy. So I am now going to go ahead and just finish the rest of my face. If only the rest of my skin could just be like my under eyes, life would be fab. Okay, we also have the Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette. So this one is in the color Light Medium. It's got Emphasize Cream, Accentuate, Taupe, Sculpt, Bone Beige. I am taking the color Bone Beige. So the color seems to be nice. It's actually quite subtle. I feel like because I am a little paler at the moment, this Bone Beige color actually works really well. It's kind of a little bit softer. It's a little kind of like more peachy, and it's doing a good job of just kind of like contouring without being a lot. It is matte, so there is no glow, no shimmer in here whatsoever. It's just giving like a really super natural contour. It's nothing major. Texture was really nice. The finish is really nice. It's blending out well. So I'm really happy with that so far. So I am going to go into the medium dark slash dark palette because there's this color right here which is like this beautiful peach, which is obviously for like correcting if you have a deeper skin tone. But on me, I think it's actually going to be a really beautiful blush. So why not? Might as well give it a go. I love these colors. Like peach is my favorite blush color, and this is actually a color that I would, like if I saw that in a store, I would totally pick that out for blush. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is take that darker palette and I'm going to take that peach color now that the rest of my makeup is on, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that as my transition shade since it is so fabulously peachy and delightful. I am using a different brush than I usually use. I've lost my other one and I don't know what happened to it. This is the L34 from SL Miss Glam. This one's actually so soft. It's way softer than the one I currently use. It's a little bit fluffier, so it's not quite as good as my other one for like the actual lid. But for like just getting some color in the crease, it's pretty darn great. Take slightly less fluffy one now, and I think I'm just going to go into this milk chocolate brown actually and just kind of like create like a soft smoky eye. Actually, that one is quite milky. I think I need a little bit more depth. So I'm going to go kind of back and forth in between these two just to create something a little bit deeper. It is now currently 11:16, so I probably put this on around, I would just say, let's just stick with 11 o'clock. It's been on for more than 15 minutes, but we'll just say 11 to be safe. So I'll come back probably a little bit later on after lunch. I have a few errands to run. My under eyes look really nice. They look smooth. Nothing has creased. Everything is exactly where it should be. The blush color is beautiful. I tried out a new highlight today as well from Too Faced. This is the Sugar Peach Wet and Dry Face and Eye Palette. I used this one right here. It's called Peach Pearl. So that's what I have on as my highlight. It's beautiful. But overall, I'd say everything looks really great so far. I'm impressed with the concealer. It highlighted well. It concealed well. It looks nice. It's not sticking or getting into my fine lines and wrinkles yet. So as of right now, it's good. I'm happy it applied nicely. I'll probably do one more check-in in the evening and let you guys know how it did overall throughout the day. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy and find this helpful. If you do, by the end of this video, give me a thumbs up, or if you just like me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that too. You can always follow me on Instagram as well. It's just at Sam Sherman. It's SCHUERMAN. So I always leave it linked down below if you guys ever want to follow me on Instagram and you've tried to look for me and you just haven't spelt it right because it's a tricky little spelling. I always leave it in the description box below so you guys can just go and check it there as well. Let's hope this works. So far so good, but fingers crossed. Oily skin is such a nightmare. We'll see. Okay guys, it's currently 2:40, so it's been on now for 12, 1, 2, so just over 3.5 hours. My under eye looks so good. I feel like it's looking better the longer that I wear it. Like now that I've got a little bit of my own natural kind of like moisture coming in, it looks so good. And where I did put it on my forehead, it's looking really nice. It looks super smooth. Also, I did put some around my chin, and I feel like this is actually wearing better than like my usual routine. Like my skin just looks really good, especially my under eye, especially everywhere I put that concealer, it looks really nice. I am just gonna go ahead and like get into the mirror up close just so that I can really have a good look. Okay, so yeah, everything underneath my eye looks amazingly smooth. The skin around my chin actually looks, yeah, way better than usual. I'm so happy with this, guys. It's looking great, and I feel like I'm less oily than I usually am. So far, thumbs up. This is looking great. I'll come back in probably around like 7 or 8 and do my last check-in to let you guys know how it's worn all day long. But so far, so good. I feel like it looks great. My makeup has definitely looked the best it has in a while. So far, I'm really happy with this concealer. As long as it doesn't break me out, this is absolutely gonna be my new favorite because I love the way it's made my skin look. Okay guys, so it is now 10:09, so it's been on for a total of 11 hours. Obviously I am oily. I have a couple of marks on my forehead from like scratching my head. Complete under eye looks so smooth, so good. My pores look so blurred, And even around my chin, like everywhere that I kind of like barely just put the remainder of the concealer, it looks so much smoother than usual. Like it hasn't collected nearly as bad. I mean, I always get a little bit of collection because I have oily skin and that's just life. And like I have lines and things, so eventually after 11 hours things are going to go places. However, I do feel like it looks so smooth on my under eye, on my nose. I mean, I am greasy for sure, but like I said, I've been really oily lately. I don't know what's going on. It's just been like out of control oil, but like it looks so much better than it usually does at the end of the night. And I feel like just especially where I have like the concealer in this section is so smooth. Like I don't know if it's gonna come across on the camera as smooth as it is in like real life. Like it just looks so good for this being 11 hours in on a super oily face with tons of texture, with lots of fine lines and crevices for things to go into. I'm just really impressed. I just feel like this concealer has held up so well, and it just, even though I look oily, I don't feel like I look absolutely disgustingly like, ugh, I just have to wipe off my face. This is so gross. This is so like collected and yucky. Like it looks really nice under there. So I would say that this is actually a very good concealer. This is going to be something that I'm going to continue to use. Fingers crossed it doesn't break me out. I mean, usually I don't break out in this area anyway. But you know, if I continue to use it on my forehead and my chin area, hopefully it does not break me out. So far I don't have any new like little ones coming or forming, so maybe I'll be okay. But this is definitely, this is a 2 thumbs up. Like this is so good, guys. I highly recommend it. If you have a really long day, maybe you're working a double, or you are going to be traveling, or you just know that you're going to be like at a wedding, or it's going to be a really long day where you need to look good for a long period of time, this is going to be the concealer for you. It is so good, even on oily skin. I'm just like so impressed with my under eye right now. It just looks so nice. Way to go, MAC. This is awesome. I hope you guys found this helpful and enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm like so excited about this concealer, guys.